Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and I am back in the basement working on my bike. And I just finished up taking the hub apart here, greasing, putting fresh new grease in there, and checking the bearings. This is on the front wheel. I recorded doing the back wheel, but the washer was going, so hopefully I haven't checked that video yet or edited or anything, so hopefully the audio's good, and if not, I've got another bike I can show you guys how to do it. So now both wheels are spinning nice and smooth. Honestly, they were before. Didn't really need to be done. Definitely not on the back wheel. The front wheel actually needed it. It seemed like it didn't have very much grease in there at all. I'm not sure what happened, but it was kind of, I wouldn't say dry, but kind of. So for today, or the next project here, I'm going to do real quick. Well, actually not real quick. I don't know how long it's going to take because this is something that I actually haven't done before. I have never, excuse me, Erie, taken apart or worked on the forks before. Let me just tip this up. This part. So this is something that I've always just kind of left alone because, I don't know, I guess I never really had a need to before. But what I noticed on this bike was, let's see how I can get the camera in there. Can you guys see that? It's going to be hard to see, but it's just really grimy down in here, and seems like there's some moisture in there. There's some, yeah, just grime and stuff. And so specifically on this side, and I'm not sure what the cause of that is, but it seemed like a good idea. And also this was this little boot here, dust cap or whatever, was up and off, and I thought it was torn and I needed a new one, but I was able to fiddle around with it and it just popped off for whatever reason. And so I just put it back on. So between those two things, I feel like this needs to come apart and we need to see what's going on and maybe give it a little service. Not maybe, give it some service. So the only thing I've done so far is I just disconnected this brake line here. So that normally just clips in. Well, actually, I think I got that backwards. It's normally clipped in like that or whatever. So I just took that off. But let's get started on this. And had I thought, oh, I forgot. And there's also another part to this. So just like the wheels, there's bearings, top and bottom here. And so if I'm going to be taking this apart, it makes sense to me to service those bearings there. Just make sure they're good, put some more grease, clean them up, and put them back. Because, yeah, taking this apart, why not? Why not do that as well? So I really did waste my time with these handlebars because I got to take this right back off. So let's see. I think if I remember correctly, it was a 4. And yes. So let me just loosen that back up. And loosen this side. And then there's the cap up top. And that's bigger. That's probably 5. Yes. And so, yeah, all the other stuff that I've been doing on this bike is all stuff that I've done before. Um, Sometimes only once or twice, sometimes multiple times. This, however, is going to be new for me. So let's see what happens. Let's try to wiggle this out. Oh my God. What did we lose? Fortunately, fortunately the bearings are not loose like in the wheel hub. They're all connected. What is it called? It's like a captive bearings or something like that. Otherwise, that would have been a horrific mess. So, yeah, if you recall the other bearings, they were all just kind of loosely flowing in the hub, whereas these are all together in a ring. So that's a bit convenient. Phew. And then there was just a spacer that I had placed on there. And looks like, I'm guessing that goes that way, is what I'm guessing. This holds the bearings, I believe. Actually, where does this go? Is that on top, maybe? I think that's a top. Is what I think. I think that goes like that, and that goes like that. Man, I'm gonna have to figure that out. So there's the bottom one. There's nothing else in there. That maybe go like that. Feels like it could. Oh well, we'll come back to that. I'll have to try to figure it out. That kind of sucks that this all fell apart like that. I think that's the way it went. Except there's quite a bit of a gap there. I'll figure it out one way or the other. So for now, let's just take a look at this stuff. Doesn't feel like there's anything else in the bottom. So I'm just going to wipe that out real good. And then we've got more of these bearings in the top here. I'm going to make a note to remember the rounded side goes in the bottom. Goes face down or whatever. Wipe this out. Plenty of grease in there. Looks pretty clean. Don't see any water or anything that seems to have gotten in there. All right, I'm going to just clean this stuff off the same way I cleaned the other one. So that's just the spacer. I don't really need to worry about that one so much. At least not right now. And here's the top cap. So those I know how they go. Let's take a quick look at these bearings. Let me come closer. So again, just checking for, where's the camera? You guys see that? Looks blurry to me, I can't tell hardly. Just looking for any damage, looking to see if there's any pitting, if there's any scratches, if it's deformed in any way. Don't know what color this grease was initially, but it's a bit dark now. So maybe some dirt and grime has gotten in here. But at the same time, maybe it was always this color. How do I know? I don't know what they use. So let's just clean all that off. It looks fine to me. And this is the top one. I don't know if they're different at all, but I'm going to try to keep them separate just in case. And I use this little magnetic bin because that just makes it easy. And I usually clean things like this with WD-40. It's a good cleaner. And then I just have to figure out how this goes back together. Should be easy. Spray that off, spray that off. Actually, that looks like it's plastic. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have sprayed that, but whatever. And yeah, I think I'm going to see if I can do a test fit before I put any grease and all that, just to make it a little bit easier, because I'm not 100% sure how this goes since it blew up on me. There's probably a better way to do that. I probably did it the wrong way, is my guess. Definitely easier to see once it's cleaned off, and yeah, these look perfectly fine to me. I don't see any obvious signs of damage or corrosion or pitting or anything. It looks fine to me. And I'm going to take this brush and just get some of, since they're all kind of in there, just to make sure getting any junk out. Not necessary, but this came out, whatever that is. Can you see that? Is that on screen? Some kind of gunk or something. Alright, yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, so now, figure out how this goes back. The rounded side went down. I know that much. Now this piece, to me, see how it's, this is made out of metal. The other two pieces are plastic. And it's got that smooth, like this part is kind of worn. You see how that part's silver and the rest of it is black? I'm thinking that's where the bearings run. So that probably goes right on top, like that. And then it might even go that way. I think that's how it goes. I'm almost positive of it. And then that goes in the middle. I'm almost certain that's how that goes. And then the bottom stayed together, so I know it goes this way. And I just need to clean that and put it back. So I think I'm gonna wait though, because I want to service this first and put it all back together. I don't want to risk losing any parts. So what I think I'll do is I'll just stack these all up together the way they go right here. And so, yeah, it's got 4 parts. This with the rounded, because one side is flat and the other side is kind of rounded, goes in there. Then this goes next, because this has a, this is just a plastic ring. And then this is where the bearings run. It goes on top of that, but it sits inside. And so everything is nice and flush. And I'm thinking this plastic ring is probably just to keep things nice and tight as the as the post goes through. That's what I'm thinking. That's what it looks like to me. Everything fits very nicely that way. And looking at it, that looks right to me. So that's what I'm going to go with. All right. So now let's put this together. I think it'll be okay. I've got some handy dandy part tool grease. You know, let me adjust so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. How's that? Can you see it a little bit better, what I'm doing? All right. So I'm just going to put some more grease here. And I am not one to be stingy with grease, certainly not in this application. There we go. And now I'm putting the bearings in, just dropping them in like so.
Are you making a video?
I am. And normally I squirt a little bit more on top, but because I got so much here, I think I'm just going to kind of spread it around on top. That's because they say like you pack it with grease, and I really like to pack it with grease.
You do?
Because yeah, that's going to help keep the moisture out, and it's going to make sure everything is moving with the least amount of friction as possible. Keep it from rusting and corroding, all that stuff that we don't like. All right, Then I put on the plastic cap. Then this metal ring that the bearings run on. And finally this plastic piece that I think maybe just helps keep things tight and together. And that's it. And I will do the same thing to the bottom when I'm ready to put that back together. And I'm going to end this video here. And in the next video, which I'm going to shoot right now, we will work on the forks. All right. Hopefully this video is helpforl to you. Like and subscribe. Pass it along to anybody else who you think may enjoy it. If you have some suggestions on how next time I can remove the forks without exploding everything, I would appreciate it, because that scared me a bit. I'm hoping and assuming that I got all the parts. It looks like it. I hope so. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.